The Jets today officially announced that they are moving on from Aaron Rodgers after 2 seasons. And Coach, I got to get your take on this because what's next for Aaron Rodgers? Where is he going to go? And I have a theory for you. The Indianapolis Colts need a quarterback. Coach JB talked about this morning, and I think he has a great point on it. The Colts need a quarterback. The Colts team, not as bad as people might think. Considering what they have around Anthony Richardson, a decent offensive line, you got Jonathan Taylor, you got a D-line with DeForest Buckner and others, you got Zaire Franklin, linebacker, Kenny Moore in the secondary. Decent pieces there, right? But they're lacking a quarterback, in my opinion. But the reason why I really wanted to bring up the Colts for Aaron Rodgers is this story. The Jets reportedly told Aaron Rodgers that he could no longer appear on Pat McAfee show if he wanted to return next season. Coach Fred, I saw this and kind of laughed at it. I mean, I brought this up with Matt McChesney, and we kind of got into a heated debate yesterday about this just because he believes Aaron Rodgers is self-centered. He's missing mandatory minicamp to go to Egypt and do a bunch of other shit. He's going on Pat McAfee show and the Jets are losing. All valid points in my opinion, but that nonetheless, it doesn't matter now. The Jets are moving on with them. Do you think that this could be him, maybe a big middle finger to the Jets, him going to the Colts and going on McAfee every day? What are your thoughts?
Well, I saw this and it puzzled me. So, I need to ask you a question. I need to answer your question with a question. Mm-hmm. Like, is he making a bunch of money doing the McAfee show?
So there's a report that came out that Pat's reportedly paying him like $1 million each appearance or something. Like, he's like, I believe so. Like, let me go double check, but I believe he's getting paid very, very well. And I don't think it's not money that you would walk away from, in my opinion, as far as I know.
And I always, in my mind, I'm like, okay, again, how much money does he need outside of what he makes football wise? But that's neither here nor there, counting his pockets. But the mandatory mini camps, missing those, and I feel the Jets, man, you don't want to bring in a new head coach with having to deal with that because he's not going to bench him. Right. So, the next best thing would be to move on, no harm, no foul. But in on his side, I could see him doing that, and I could see the coach doing it because this gives you a chance to really sit AR5 down and give him a chance to learn, be behind Aaron. There's no threat. Hey, look, we're going to play you in certain packages, but this is a chance for you to learn. If Aaron's willing to do that and teach, this is a chance for you to learn behind one of the all-time greats. I can see him doing that. And as you said, they're not as far off as people think. Defensively, they're really good. Oh, yeah. Offensively, they just need a few more pieces, game pieces outside. Yeah. And I think they'll be pretty good.
Yeah, I agree. And, here's what I know on the Pat McAfee paying Aaron Rodgers situation. I know that Aaron's made at least over $1 million in appearances on his show, and that's as of, December of this year. He's definitely getting paid. It's definitely something that I don't know if you'd walk away from just from going on a podcast once a week. Just going to throw that out there. If I were a quarterback, I wouldn't walk away from $1 million a week just go on a show for 30 minutes. Like it's free money.
It's not during practice or meeting times or things.
Yeah, that's the other thing. Yeah, it's one thing if he was going on there saying some stupid shit and it was during team time. Yeah, I think it definitely ain't that.
Well, I guess he's went on there and said some stupid ish.
Well,
but, I guess during the time that he's saying.
Yeah, he definitely gets some heat, and it's interesting. But I gotta ask you. So you mentioned the Colts, right? Do you think that Aaron Rodgers could be a mentor to Anthony Richardson?
Well, that's what I said. I think you got to get that cleared if he wants to do that. You heard stories, don't know if they were really true. Him and the Jordan Love situation and, not really wanting to take that kid under his wing when he first came in. But I would think and I would hope that at this point in his career that he would want to do that, but nobody knows, if that's the truth other than, Aaron Rodgers about the situation with Green Bay. But to me, that'd be ideal for that to happen. And, you got AR for a couple more years under contract. Mm-hmm. So, why not take a stab at it if you can do it, make a run and go from there?
Yeah, IR5 Mike Bundy. But yeah, I got IR5. Chat's hilarious. But man, into the Colts. You mentioned we discussed this. They're not that far off. I think that the reunion with Pat McAfee in Indianapolis. I mean, it's good for business. Let's just say
ain't no
that.
doubt.
I think it's great for business. We'll see. We'll see. I thought it was interesting that the story came out that the Jets wouldn't bring Aaron back if he kept going on McAfee. I think that's also Aaron Glenn just saying, new head coach. I mean, there's no reason to keep Aaron Rodgers. Might as well move on at that point.
That's it.
Now with the Jets, I believe the Jets hold the number 7 overall pick. Could you see them making a move for a quarterback? I mean, they could easily trade up to 1, 2. I mean, they could make a move if they wanted to. First, the reason I asked, that's Matt Machezzi's worst nightmare is Shedeur Sanders going to the Jets. Do you think the Jets make a play for a quarterback with that top 10 pick?
I think they, if they don't go free agency, I think they have to. And I think it's one of those deals where, Aaron comes in and hey, coach, we're committed to you and we're going to see this thing through. And now you groom the guy to take, the franchise forward with you. So I could see that. But I could also see them reaching out for, a Sam Darnold, someone like that, reunion, bringing back, a groomed. But I think it's all in what they want to do with the program, the franchise going forward, because they have a few pieces. They're not completely, bottom of the barrel. So, complete rebuild, or are we trying to do something here? So, I think that's what they do with the quarterback position.
Yeah, and the Jets, it's the Jets, but yeah, they have a lot of pieces. I don't think people really look at. I mean, I get Aaron Rodgers didn't play great, but Aaron Rodgers' stats were good last season for the Jets. But also, the Jets had a lot of key injuries, like Jermaine Johnson, JB's kid, had an unfortunate injury out for the whole year. That offensive line, you saw a lot of injuries happen. They also have a young left tackle they drafted that I think could really be a dude going into this season. It's interesting with the Jets. We'll cover this and we'll see if there's definitely going to be some movement. I'll definitely say that there's definitely going to be some movement. So
they can't sit at 7 and hope to get a quarterback unless they're going to do it in free agency.
Right. Yeah, exactly. So we'll see. I'm excited. I'm excited to see that. Shout out to Mike Bundy gifting 10 memberships to the channel. Shout out to Mike Bundy. You're the man. I appreciate you watching, man.